Welcome to another FORGEHUB tutorial. Today we'll be looking at round-based weapon sets. What I mean by this is creating sets of weapons which are staggered to different rounds in a round-based game like Breakout. So, for example, in odd-numbered rounds we would have weapon set A active, and in even-numbered rounds we would have weapon set B active. Players of Gears of War and a few other games might be familiar with this type of mechanic already. Setting this up is quite simple. I'm here on Havoc by Sethiroth, which is one of my favorite Breakout maps, just to use this as an example. So the first thing we're going to need to do is simply to create something which toggles between rounds. So we're going to place a script brain, and we're going to add a single script to it. And it needs simply to say, on round start, to toggle the alpha power channel. And it's going to start in a null state. It's going to toggle on at the beginning of the first round. It'll be off at the beginning of the second round. So in other words, weapon set A, which we want active in odd numbered rounds, will need to be built off of the condition of alpha being on, and weapon set B, which will be active in in even numbered rounds, will be built off of the condition of alpha being off. So the first thing I've done is I've taken the default weapon set from the map and of course set this set to be active during odd numbered rounds. So we have two scripts on each of these objects. On power state alpha on spawn, and on power state alpha off despawn. I've done that for all three of the main items here. Sorry, you can see these weapons are inside of one another so that they can spawn in the same place, but you can see the scattershot has the same scripts on it, and so does the plasmacaster on the other side of the map. And that will create our first weapon set. Now, for the second weapon set, we need only do the opposite. I've used basic analogs to all three of these pickups. We have a speed boost, a shotgun, and a Hydra. Of course, you can be more deliberate with how you design these weapon sets to really complement maps in different ways and to create interesting synergies between the weapons within each set. I'll leave that up to you though, I'm just trying to go through the scripting. So if we look at the speed boost, we'll see that this has just the opposite scripts. On power state alpha on despawn, on power state alpha off spawn. So quite simply, weapon set A will be active in odd numbered rounds, weapon set B will be active in even numbered rounds. One thing to be careful of is that since you're setting objects to despawn at the beginning of the round in Forge, that means that once I save this and load this back up in Forge, the weapons from weapon set B will be gone because the round will have started, alpha will be off, and they will have been told to despawn. So that's something just to be mindful of. One other thing to keep in mind is that all respawn and despawn timers need to be disabled on the weapons in these weapon sets in order for this to work. Otherwise, the weapons that don't spawn in at the start of a given round will respawn at some point during that round, and you'll get weapons stacked on top of one another. Of course, when you're doing a round-based mode with short rounds, you don't really need those weapons to be respawning in the middle of each round anyway, since it is elimination, having them just spawn at the beginning of each round works just fine too. So just keep that in mind. Anyway, I hope you guys found this tutorial helpful. I think it has a lot of potential for Breakout and for other minigames or other applications. And of course, it's not limited to weapons and power-ups either. You could do this with map geometry. Of course, this is kind of built off of the same trick as the side-switching Breakout tutorial that I did a few weeks ago. So there are definitely some interesting applications for this, and I hope you guys find it helpful. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.